So everybody knows growing up in the world today as a teenager is tough, especially with just the culture we live in with social media and all the pressures that kind of we didn't have growing up ourselves as teenagers. So today I'm here with Chloe, my 14-year-old daughter, my beautiful teenage daughter. I know we've done other videos with her sisters, but today Chloe's just had something on her heart and just kind of rolling around in her spirit that she wanted to share personally. And she's going to share today in this video 4 tips that every teenager needs to hear, especially with some of the lies out there that they believe. So Chloe, tell me why you have this video on your heart and what you want to share today.
Well, I've been going through a lot of insecurities lately and lies that I've been believing. And I think every teenager has some lies or insecurities that they've been believing during these days with social media and whatever they're doing. But when I get these insecurities and lies, I think of this song by Matthew West called Truth Be Told. And 2 lines really stick out to me in this song, and it opens up with line number. And like, that is not true. None of us has it all together.
Yeah.
What? No.
Those are massive lies.
Yeah.
Those are massive lies that a lot of people believe, especially with what they see online and things going on. So
and just thinking of these lies and whatever, it makes me feel alone or like I'm in my own corner through hard times.
So what brought it about though?
One of my friends is going through a hard time with social media. They're sneaking it, and then they're filling their minds with a bunch of lies, like they need a boy to make them feel worthy or acceptable.
Yeah.
And that just really hurts.
That's
because
a big one, right?
Yeah.
That's a big one for a girl. That's a big one for a guy as a teenager.
Yeah, and it just hurts because like I'm trying to tell her the truth, and I'm trying to be like, no, that's not true. Like, I'm here for you. Your parents, your family's there for you. But and I'm trying to like blow it up almost, and she won't let me.
I know what you're trying to say. So we talk about in our house all the time. We use this phrase. We say, drag it out into the light.
Yeah.
Right? If they're battling something, and this isn't just for teenagers, it's for adults too.
Mm-hmm.
If we're battling something, whether individually or as a family or whatever, we always talk to each other and we say, hey, drag it out into the light.
Yeah. And it's easier said than done.
It really is, because it sounds funny, but it almost feels safer in your head and in your heart as you know, some of the things that you just think and you battle with. If it stays in your mind and you just hold it all in, it can grow and grow and grow, and you can make it such a bigger deal than it is. Yeah. And the enemy of your soul can get a hold of that and start to twist it, and you can start to believe these lies. So we always say, drag it out into the light. So when Chloe came to me with this video idea, she wanted to drag this out into the light and just said, I threw some things down in my journal. Do you think we can talk about this on a video? So, and I love that. I think that it's a perfect time for this. It's a perfect time for what they're going through. And one of the things you said is, what you don't want teens to feel that they're alone. You don't want, whether it's guys or girls, you want them to know that everybody goes through this, right?
Yeah. And I'm not saying it's all social media. Like, I'm 14 and I still don't have it. And yeah, I would love to have it someday, but I don't want to be surrounding myself in the environment of comparing or wishing I was in that kind of relationship, or I wish I had their life. Like, I don't want that, but I would like to have social media. And this topic is hard for me, kind of, because I'm trying to convince them to give me social media.
You're going to have people writing in like hate mail towards us, like, give them some. No. So we are having that conversation. We already talked. Yeah. So, and if you haven't watched the other video on social media, go check that video out, because we talked about that. We talked about that for a while. Yeah. So I think, tell me, you said something about there's more to life than what?
Needing to be in a relationship.
Right.
So what I mean by that is there's obviously going to be feelings, and then you're going to be like, well, if they don't like me, blah, blah, blah. And then you get all these insecure thoughts in your mind.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's so overwhelming. But you don't want to fill that emptiness or that brokenness from like a past relationship or whatever with more of the stuff that hurt you, because then you're tearing yourself up piece by piece. It's easier said than done, totally, but when you're going through a hard time, go to the Lord, go read his word, and if you don't know where to start, comment down below and ask, like, I'll let you guys know. Yeah. And it helps. It's
and I think that there's so many other people going through this. There's so many other, teenagers. It doesn't matter. There's a whole range in that age group, but you wanted to make sure that they know they're not alone. Yeah. That you wanted to be a voice to help them go through this and let them know, hey, it's happening to me too. Mm-hmm. We all have these thoughts. We all believe these lies. We all believe at some point. So you just want, especially during a pandemic, or especially with not being able to do the things that we used to do, right? So you and your focus can be more on, I feel so alone, or I want a relationship, or right. I want this person to validate how I feel. So when I tell most of my friends, they shut down or they don't listen, because they know what they're doing is wrong and they don't want to admit it, and then they just totally just ignore me, act frustrated, whatever, and then it just ruins the whole mood. And so I just stopped admitting it. But well, and I think that's a big thing too, because when you were talking to your friend, you want to help them and say, hey, this isn't like you. Right. You're kind of changing because of this or that. Yeah. And none of us, adults, parents, kids, doesn't matter. You don't like to feel confronted. Right. You don't like to feel confronted when somebody kind of holds you accountable or says, hey, in a loving way, because you're trying to do it very lovingly. I know what you're going through. So you're trying to do this very lovingly and say, hey, this isn't like you. Why don't you think about this, or stop doing this, or hey, and nobody likes that. We all kind of go defensive, or right. We feel frustrated when somebody calls us out, because we know what we're doing isn't healthy. So, and I love that. So why don't you take some time and share what you wrote in your journal, because I think this is going to be super powerful for someone.
I wrote this hoping that someone would need this as much as I needed this. So here's what I said. I go, I'm done. I'm done with feeling left out. I'm done with feeling that everything is my fault. I'm done. I'm made in the image of God, and I'm perfect in his eyes. If y'all are feeling the same way, know that you are not alone. I've gone through broken friendships, people using me, or just feeling left out. I'm 14 and still don't have social media. And to be honest, it may not seem like a big deal, but
it is a big deal.
Yeah. Growing up with most of my friends having it, it stinks. And you're always feeling like left out, because they're either on it when you're not, or when you're just sitting around. So they're either snapping people or looking at TikTok while I'm either watching them or sitting there feeling left out. But not having it has taught me a lot, because I don't want to be constantly comparing myself or being jealous of other people in relationships or having a better body. Has this ever happened to you? Have you ever caught yourself comparing or getting jealous of people in relationships? Have you looked in the mirror and asked yourself, who are you? When you're out with people, what are you known for? Are you known for being nice or being mean and snobby? If you don't know, that might be something to think about. You are made in the image of God. To me, whenever someone would say that, I'd be like, yeah, well, that's great. Yeah.
Whenever someone told you you're made in the image of God, like trying to encourage you with the scriptures,
But now that I fully thought it through, I was like, that's amazing. Whoa. We are made in his eyes, and he made us beautiful and unique, each and every one of us.
This is a line in her journal I want her to say again. Say that again very slowly. Tell somebody and encourage them.
We are made in his eyes, and he made us beautiful and unique. We don't need anyone to make us feel accepted or having the perfect body. Ephesians 2:10 says, for we are God's masterpiece, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do.
Now, pause that. I don't want to interrupt her journal. I guess I do, but I want for her to write these words. This is not scripted. Like she wrote these words in her journal, and these thoughts came to her heart. I mean, it was just she wanted to encourage not only herself but somebody else to say, you are unique, you're gifted, you're a masterpiece, you're beautiful, you don't need makeup, you don't need social media, you don't need a guy to tell you, and if you're a guy, you don't need a girl to make you feel whole and complete. You're created with gifts and abilities and talents, and you're called for a purpose. And just, yeah, so I love that. Unpause, I won't interrupt you.
I always have thoughts going through my head, messing with me, saying I need a guy to fill the emptiness, or I need the attention from a guy to make me feel acceptable of who I am. But that doesn't satisfy me 100%. Like, I'm sure it will satisfy me, like,
because who doesn't want a relationship, right?
Yeah,
who doesn't
exactly.
who doesn't want to feel loved by somebody?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the person who I really am satisfied by with 100% is the Lord. And most of us forget that because we surround ourselves with social media or wanting to be in a relationship and like feeding into those lies.
And there's nothing wrong with social media, but when it's all you put yourself in, yeah,
right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The point of my life where I am right now is feeling like I need a guy to feel secure about myself, and I have to get that lie out of my head because I'm 14 years old and it's not going anywhere. So for me, going through a rough time is hard, and my first thought is not to go to God because I feel like, why would he put me in this situation that hurts? It makes me feel like I want to cry every night and then expect him to go to him. Like, it's not really my first. But the times when I did go to God, it helped me a ton. And sometimes I forget that. So when or if you're going through a rough time or you're getting those insecure thoughts and lonely thoughts, just know that you are not alone and the Lord will walk with you through it. He's always there no matter how you feel. The Bible says we are weak. He is stronger. So trust him and run to him even when you don't feel like it. I encourage you guys to do it because I'm even challenging myself to do these things and read the Bible, to go to the Lord in times I don't really want to. And it has been tough, but it's also been healthy for me.
Right. So a couple things. You said when we are at our weakest, that's when God proves himself strongest. So we can go to him. We can give our heart to him. And I love that because this is so honest. This is so raw and honest because she even says, we don't always feel like reading the Bible. We don't always feel like praying. We can be honest about that. We can say that. That's okay to say, right? As Christians, we don't have to pretend. We don't have to say we're perfect. Oh, we just spend 12 hours a day in prayer. We read our Bibles 24 hours a day. No, there's days that we're like, I don't really feel like but the encouragement is when you don't feel like it, sometimes that's the most important time. That's the time where, the enemy's just ripping your mind apart inside, and you're trapped kind of in your own little headspace. And when you get into it, we did another video about reading the Bible and how he gives you those gems. Sometimes he'll drop a gem right when you need it the most. So
the encouraging tips I really want to share with you are, if you are getting sucked into social media, delete it.
Wait, what?
Delete it.
Delete social media?
And you're probably like, oh, she doesn't have it. She has no clue. Well, hold on. I have an older sister. I know exactly what she goes through, and it is not easy for her. But when she does do it, she feels so much secure and with herself and who she is. And like, I feel like everyone who's feeling lost or broken needs to do that to make them feel better. You don't have to delete it for a certain amount of time. If you want to delete it for a day, a week, or maybe even longer, just delete it until you feel healthier about yourself. So there's not really
that's a great point. It's different for everybody.
Yeah.
However long it takes to feel healthy again, to get that emotional strength back. Sometimes you just need to step away. It could be an hour, it could be a day, it could be a week. Like you said, it's perfect.
Encouragement number 2 is listen to Truth Be Told.
The song, listen to Truth Be Told, the song, right?
Yes. Yeah. If you ever think about lies or you're feeling insecure, I really encourage you to listen to this song. It has some great lines in there that I just really soaked in about, and the song put me in tears, and I put it on repeat because it was just so much truth. And My dad will put the link to
Yeah.
the song
I'll link to it
below.
in the comments, or
But
in the description.
the song really helps, and I really encourage you guys to.
It's powerful. You're right. Yeah.
Encouragement number 3 is distance from toxic people. If your friends are leading you down a wrong path that you know is wrong, but you don't want to step away because they'll make fun of you for being like an outcast, then you know those are not your true friends, because true friends encourage you to do good things and encourage you and not break you down and make you feel uncomfortable if you're
or feel bad for doing the right thing. Right? Yeah, that's good.
But if you have a great friend who is going through a hard time and like they're surrounding themselves with toxic people that are bringing them down, and then they're getting all these lies and whatever, I encourage you to keep telling them that what they're doing is wrong. Keep dragging the lie into the light.
Yeah, and that's hard too, because you want to be. If you have a friend that's going through that, and they know that your heart is good for them, they know that you love them, you've shared life with them, and they need to know that this is coming from a place of love, not just to say you're doing wrong, but to say, hey, you've even confronted your friends, like, hey, this isn't like you, or that you're kind of changing here. You don't seem like you're the same person that you used to be, and I think it's because of this. It could be. It's not a judging thing. You're not like putting them down or anything, but you're just saying, hey, that's you're different than that, and sometimes you've watched them shut down, and it's hard because you're saying it because you're saying I love you, and I'm just telling you this, and you still walk with them,
if they do shut down, do not shut down with them, because you are hurting them more. It's like you're digging their hole for them, or you're just walking next to them down the path, but you're what you're doing is wrong, so then you're going into the toxic friends. So I encourage you guys to either distance yourself from them or encourage a friend to distance themselves.
But mostly let them know that you love them, you're in this with them, and if they still don't listen, then you just gotta kind of walk away from them.
Right.
And I did tell her, I said, if you remember, I told you this the other day, if you say something to a friend and they either get really mad at you or walk away from you or don't want to be your friend at all ever again, that's okay. But there may be a day that comes that they look back, that friend looks back and says, you know what, in that time period of my life, Chloe was the only person, looking back, I remember Chloe Simon she was the only person that told me the truth, that loved me enough to tell me this was going to be unhealthy for me. I wish I would have listened. It's not to say that you want to be right. You're not trying to be right. You're looking at them in love, going, man, I love you. I don't want to see this happen to you. Yeah. And not that you have it all perfect, or we mess up too, but it's just what a friend does. Right. So they might look back and say, man, out of all the friends I've ever had, Chloe was the one that risked everything to tell me the truth. So that's a fantastic tip. Yeah. Tip number 4.
Tip number 4 is get a journal.
Get a journal.
My friend,
Right? Yeah. Okay.
Get a journal.
This is her journal. Yeah, it's a beautiful journal. Go ahead.
My friend got me a journal for my 13th birthday as a joke to write drama or whatever, but I actually write some of my deepest thoughts into it. Yeah. This might be one of the most important things to help you process your thoughts and to at least just get them out. Just what I do is when I have something hard to think through, I push it back to my head and just don't think about it. But what it actually does is you keep thinking about that thought and thinking about it. But when I write it down, it's there. It's still there.
And having 3 teenage daughters, every one of them is unique. Every single, we all know this. We're all created unique, but everybody has their own personality. So Chloe tends to keep things in and go internal, where Autumn will talk it out more, and you can tell something's bothering her, but she'll be more expressive. Brooklyn will also be a little bit quieter, but Chloe will go totally inside, and I almost have to pull it out of you like pulling teeth. But then she puts it in this thing, and it helps. This is her journal.
It really helps. Yeah. And then when you are going through that time again, because maybe something might pop up, and then you can go back and you probably could have wrote something like encouraging to help yourself. You've been like, oh, that's been a great point. Yeah. Those are 4 of the biggest encouragements I could give you from one teenager to another. And remember, we are all going through this together. And the last thing I wrote in my journal is we're unique, we're gifted, we're created in God's image, and we are created to do incredible things. And don't let any lie or insecurity stop you from believing that.
That's awesome.
That's the best advice I could give you. We're all in this together, and we'll get through this one day at a time.
One day at a time. So there's literally nothing more that I can add to that. So just like Chloe said, I put links in the description to the song she mentioned by Matthew West. It's called Truth Be Told. And also some links to some awesome journals you might want to check out. Her journal is going to be in there, and then some other things. And by the way, if you prefer an app or you prefer like note-taking or journaling, you prefer the electronic version, there's a link to Evernote. It's an app that literally, I think for me, changed the game when it comes to journaling or just jotting down thoughts or video ideas or things like that, just notes on the fly. So there's a link to that too. So I think from both of us, we really hope this was super valuable for you. And we just want to say thanks for spending some time with us. Give this video, if you liked it, if you got value out of it, give this video a thumbs up. Encourage this girl like crazy, because it's just, these are hard to do. I mean, it's vulnerable for her to come on here and do a video like this and just share some of her heart and her soul. So show her some love, give her a thumbs up, like the video. If you want to, feel free to subscribe for more of these kinds of videos, because I'm sure we're going to do some more in the future. So God bless you guys as you keep seeking Christ first in your life.